This is amazing. So I've been learning so much, and I just want to say I'm taking the thread of what Clay writes down of conversations from Gabriel. Thank you so much. And this idea of being aware of the subtle shifts and just step by step. And it's finally hitting me right. Like if I catch myself reflexively reacting the way most of us do to just like before we even know it, we're feeling all of a sudden something that's not so great. Like I have a thought.
You're demonstrating something here in what you are describing, which is we feel the difference between being called outside of yourself, in essence. Look over here, pay attention to this, support this cause, donate your time over here. And the soft, stable, consistent calling from within, to turn within, to tune in to that which is within you, which is where all your power is, and not have to pay attention to the subtle nuances of what every news station is broadcasting and every person outside of you is projecting onto you, but to be paying attention to all of the nuances of how you feel. It's not what's going on out here. It's what's going on right here.
So my question is how I feel. I could analyze like physically in my body, right? Or I could say, okay, I have a certain mood shift and all of a sudden the mood is lower or more anxious because I then recognize all of a sudden I'm thinking, I'll just go there, worrisome thoughts. So then in just this last week, I was going to myself, okay, wait a minute. I just had a worrisome thought and it actually kept me up at 2 a.m, but I knew enough to at least recognize. And so instead of like stewing on it, the mantra I'm choosing is like something that you said, which is like, okay, and now what? And I'll just speak really personally. I'm having some age-related physical challenges right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There's a medical route. There's a kind of a physical therapy route, which I'm more inclined to. And I could go to this big place and I'm just going to be fully divulging. I almost feel shame. Like, why do I have this? Like, what did I do wrong in my life that all of a sudden, I know I was a marathon runner. Well, that high impact probably wasn't good. So that's I've got this specific issue and I don't know yet how I'm going to remedy it. And when
you said the words, perfect words, which was shame, because it wouldn't matter if you were determining that it was physical activity over time that is to blame, which means that somehow you're going to snake it around to where it's your decision to do what felt like a good idea at the time is something you should feel ashamed about, or if you're attributing it all to the thoughts you've been thinking. Now, we know that the thoughts really are the continuity of your experience. You can speed them up and you can slow them down, way down, but they're always there. You are consciousness, and you are translating the consciousness that you are in your physical human experience into physical human thoughts. And so the thoughts matter a lot. And that's why you can change your thoughts about a thing, and changing a thing is only about changing your relationship to the thing, really.
Wow.
And so now we're back to the thoughts. And so in all of this, whatever you're determining, age, physical activity, thoughts, whatever it is, a good sticky to post around is blaming isn't the solution here.
Right.
Finding something to blame, even though the whole world is on the hunt all the time for how to blame, what to blame, who to blame, all of that. That's just contributing, in fact, creating this experiential imbalance between positive and negative, which is just experience. It's everything is always in balance. And so we've been talking with this one a lot recently about what we're calling the standards of feeling, and thereby standards of thoughts. What thoughts do you know are going to take you down? What thoughts do you know are going to bring you up? Now, there are always going to be more, and the subject doesn't have the power to do either of those things. It's the way you are thinking about the subject.
Wow.
The way you are thinking, what does that mean? It means the way you feel about the thoughts you're having in response to what you are giving your attention to, whether you're observing it outside of you or experiencing it within yourself. So these standards that we're talking about raising now in terms of really, this one would say, calling bullshit on yourself when it feels like you're just setting yourself up for an excuse for what's going on that involves blaming anything. In other words, it's not the fault of anything. It is where you are. And from where you are, you can get to anywhere that you want to go, but not necessarily by going in any direction easily. In other words, if you've got an hour physically to get from point A to point B, you're not going to go way out of your way to get to your destination. But if you've got time, what you would consider time to kill, more time than you need to get from point A to point B, you might go way out of your way. You might take the scenic route, whatever it is, to get where you're going.
Right,
so
right.
It's really about where you are now, where you can feel your desire is in its destination, and how are you going to make the journey? And
Right.
this analogy falls short a little bit because it sounds like we're saying introduce a whole bunch of negative thoughts in opposition to what you want if you've got extra time, and you'll get there either way. But that's what so many friends are doing, running to catch up with their desires because they're taking themselves out of their way in their negative thinking. So just
Wow.
cutting it straight for you, anything like I'm having age-related anything, that's more limiting than you want your experience to be right now, because it sounds like there's an inevitable decline just by virtue of passing through the life experience in time. And there isn't any of that. That's a misunderstanding at the basis of what is considered to be an understanding. Can
I jump in?
Yes.
If I'm actually having a physical challenge in the moment, regardless of whatever the medical establishment said, it's a new experience for me, and it is a new, unfamiliar territory that I'm saying is a challenge.
Then you still are where you are, and where do you want to be?
I want to be either totally accepting it, or totally accepting it, or
accepting what?
Beyond it.
Accepting what?
I know it's just because I probably did way too much high impact aerobics.
See, here's where we want to jump in, because we are right in agreement with you. This is going on right now. You are taking your path of least resistance to get the job done for yourself and to function in life. You are where you are, but as soon as you start ascribing blame to anything up till now, you're really holding yourself apart from bringing your body into better than ever alignment, which an age-related condition would not allow. Because your age-related condition is that you're getting smarter, that you're getting more curious, thereby, that you're more confident, that you're having more fun, that you're laughing. These are your age-related conditions. Your limitations are not age-related.
Right, got it. You're brilliant. Thank you. Yep.
Well, but that's what you want to feel for, is when am I telling the truth? And when am I starting to tell myself some sort of untruth?
Right.
And it can slip right by you, until you've practiced catching it And that and some friends would still be arguing for where they started the conversation here. And this is what is so fun about playing with you in these conversations, is you really come along. You really have a primary eagerness to come along and find your way into attunement with your source self. So be choosy about these standards that you're mingling with, because you're beyond them. You're beyond these standards. So look for the assistance that is there. It's there. It's all around you. You're really allowing it in. Your lightheartedness will assist you. It's all going to get put back together better than ever before. Doesn't matter how it happens, because the destination that you're going to arrive at is better than ever relationship to my physical body. And you're not going to say, but when I was 20, I wanted things to function in the way that they were easily functioning. You're not going to be doing any of that, because you're going to feel so good. So
this is good. This is good. And thank you for talking about, like earlier in the thoughts I read this week, about just that subtle awareness of, okay, when does my mind shift? Because that's where I can pay attention, and that's everything, because then I can make a shift.
And it is subtle, but your job as a teacher of voice, who is understanding and feeling vibrationally the relationship to pitch and how to maintain and achieve pitch. This is the work. You've been training yourself for this work that we are doing here without even knowing you were doing it.
Wow.
And your mind now, age-related as it is your greatest strength in coming into greater than ever alignment. So we're going to keep throwing age-related under the bus over and over here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really good.
I'm so glad I was able to make tonight. Thank you.
Well, it all works out. You made it so.